Hello, long time no see. I wanted to show another passion of mine, One Piece. I always played it, but at a small scale. Um, I personally wanted to change that. I wanted to grind One Piece more and maybe go sometimes to a regional. I might make a video about this change in scenery, right? Since I always did this Digimon content, now I changed up to One Piece. Um, but yeah, I wanted to present you this deck profile. And yeah, I grinded the last month a little bit more One Piece and decided to participate in the Treasure Cup, which for those who don't know is a very sweaty event. Um, for those who know me or maybe don't, I'm not always the guy who picks the strongest decks, right? And you guys might seen it in the title. I decided to play the man, the myth, the legend himself, Gold D. Roger. Yeah, my deck choice is very simple. I just like Roger as a character in general. He's one of my favorite characters in the anime and manga. I guess it might be for many people, right? Um, yeah. Mm, Roger can be very strong at times, I don't want to deny that, but it requires a very high roll playstyle, and sometimes you fall really flat by doing this, right? Because of the consistency issue. But yeah, that's for the deck in general. Let's get to the deck profile. First four cards are Shank Searcher. Very simple. You search the Roger Pirate cards. This guy becomes kinda useless in the late game since you don't have really many targets to search and play out. Of course, you can still search the 10 cost Roger, right? The 10 cost Roger for game with Rush. But this guy gets much better if the promo Roger gets out, because you got turns where you, for example, have 10 dons, right? You play this guy out, um, rest one don, still got 9 dons left, search the promo Roger, play out the promo Roger. Then I would say this guy did a fantastic job, right? But now in the late game, it's kind of like, yeah, why bother, right? Since you every don matters for Roger, right? The second card is, let's see, the 2K Buggy. Obvious reasons, right? It's a Roger Pirate, it's a 2K, he rams. I personally don't like to play this card out because he's a 2K, right? And Roger's play style, like I explained at the beginning, is very high rolly. You have to do the best you can with those cards you draw. And yeah, preferably I keep this card in my hand, but if it's required, I play this card out to ramp, right? So the next card is the 2K Sanji. Yeah, this Sanji is in combination with the 10 cost Rush Roger like a win condition, right? It requires very big setup since you have to play down the 10 cost Roger first, hope that Roger stays and not gets removed. But in theory, it's like you play down the Roger, got one life, for example, your opponent doesn't swing because he knows, okay, I'm in trouble if I swing. Then you play down the Sanji, activate the main, take your life, enable Roger, and swing with the rest of your buddies for game, right? And your opponent can't block. That's the general idea behind this card. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I have to admit it didn't come up that much, but still Sanji is 2K. To have this possibility of a play is not bad, and yeah, that's why every Roger plays that card, right? Now comes the next card, and it's Douglas Bullet. Yeah, Bullet, it's a ramp card, right? Like the others, ramps up Reston. If you got 8 dons in general on your field, this guy gets to 6k, which is very good. It's an amazing neutral tool. You can run over the bodies of the opponent, or maybe run over the leader, and since this guy is a 6k, you might as well bait a 2k counter or 2 1ks, right? Very good neutral game card. The next card is Bon Clay. Yeah, Bon Clay is like ramp. He ramps like the others, but the difference with Bon Clay is the card gets rammed active, right? It doesn't get rammed rested, which might extend some turns, or for example keeps your don open for your counter event, right? And Bon Clay is a good card to deal with high power bodies. For example, if you play against Ace and they got their block beards out, right? And Bon Clay managed to stay, right? You attack with Bon Clay, target block beard, and this guy gets to 12k, which is like very amazing to apply pressure, right? Now to the next cards. 4 times Uta, the starter deck one, the 6 cost blocker. It's 2k. You can play out Uta for 2 if you got 10k power body on the field. Yeah, this Uta is a card which gets much better if the promo Roger arrives, since promo Roger costs 8. You play out Roger, you got the 10k body, and you could follow up with Uta and get an additional blocker, right? It's like an ultimate defensive play if you want it like that. Some people don't play Uta at the moment because the Roger promo is missing, right? And play Usuhachi for the resting. I think that's okay as well. Don't want to judge about that. I did it too. I feel like just a personal preference to play Uta to play out a blocker, right? And even in this meta where you have to deal with Emo and they play out this one guy that pops your 5 cost characters, this Uta stays, since Uta is the 6 cost character on board, right? So yeah, I feel like that's still reason enough to play her even now, but yeah, it's like personal preference, right? I don't want to deny that. The next 4 cards are Scopagaban. Yeah, Scopagaban is like a ramp card like the other Roger Pirates. Additionally, it cycles through the deck, which is very nice. And it's like a good neutral body, right? You got a 6 cost body with 7k power. It can apply pressure, and yeah, that's why this guy is good. Now the next body is the right hand of the king himself, the Rizzler Rayleigh. Some people might know what I mean with that. It's Rush. It rests a character if you have a Don attached on somebody on your field. Don't forget about that. Then you could rest a 5 cost character, and at the end of the turn you get an active ramp, right? And which comes sometimes handy if you go first, for example, and you get 9 Dons. You could play out Rayleigh, rest something, doesn't matter, swing with Rayleigh, and at the end of the turn you get your active Don. Roger becomes a 7k, and you got your 1 Don, for example, for the counter event, right? So yeah, very good card. Now the next 2, I play 2 Charlotte Katakuri. Katakuri does the kind of the same as Rayleigh in the ramp. If it goes to the ramp, right, you ramp up end of turn with Katakuri, but not active, but rested. But in this case, I'd say it still comes handy, right, since Roger becomes from a 5k to a 7k power leader, which is like good defensive. And additional to that, Katakuri is a blocker which restands end of turn, which helps to apply pressure and gives you a good board presence, and it's like anti-staff tool, right? Since you don't have to burn that much counters, for example, because you got the Katakuri, and yeah, it's a body that end of turn resends every time, and yeah, I think that's very valuable. Now to the next card, which is the legend Edward Newgate. Yeah, what can I say? Edward Newgate, 9 cost, is like to push up your Roger. Roger becomes from a 7 to a 9k, which is like very insane. It's like very good defensive play, right? And 10k body additionally has a when attacking effect, which doesn't come up that often, but there's still the possibility to use this play. So yeah, it's really helpful. Now we come to the main man of the deck, the boss monster if you want. 4 times rush Shanks. Like this is the reason why Roger can deal with Emo so good, right? Since you got this boss monster which got so much aura. Applies his haki with -1k on the board, except the leader, but that doesn't matter in that case. For example, if you got Shanks on the board, the Gorosais on the board lose 1k, and if you got 2 of those on the field, it's basically an auto lose for Emo, right? So yeah, this guy is like very strong, and yeah, there's nothing to say about this more. Now we come to the alternative win con, 10 cost Roger. Important and more than ever, right, in this meta with many blockers, right? This is the play I mentioned with the 2k Sanji, right? You take 1 life. If you already have a Roger established, at this moment you swing with all your high cost buddies. Your opponent can't block. He has to counter all your swings, right? And that's why this card is so good. Ramp event, I think I don't need to say much about this, right? Ramp event, I preferably use this card over Buggy, since like those two do exactly the same, but let's say you are in this case where you don't got a down open, right? You still can counter out with Buggy, right? So yeah, and when you have a 1 down out, for example through Rayleigh, right, you still got the 3k counter, which goes only on the leader, don't forget about it. And yeah, it's like very useful. The next 2 are Radical Beam. Radical Beam is like a very powerful card for in this deck, since it's a 4k boost, right, if you got 2 life or lower, and combine that with Roger's base power, you get to 11k, which is like very difficult to overrun, right, for 1 swing at least. And furthermore, you can use Radical Beam for your characters, which is kind of important as well in Roger, since you got that many high cost buddies. Of course, most people might ignore it, or sometimes you got in the case where people try to control your board, which makes sense, right? Since if you go up against Zoro, for example, it might be worth it to protect your buddies, right? And yeah, Radical Beam for me personally does it very well. So this is the reason why I play Radical Beam. And the last 2 cards are this beautiful card, Divine Departure. A Divine Departure counter event, throw out 1 card, counter from for 3k, character or leader. Yeah, you play in this deck many, as like you can see, many bricks, right? And to throw out those bricks doesn't hurt us that much. Furthermore, you got that main effect. You need to have at least 1 don attached. You can rest up to 5 dons of yours, and give 1 character -8k, right? For example, it doesn't come up that much, but you could, for example, play it like this, where you attach 2 don to your Whitebeard, right? When attacking condition, right? Use Divine Departure, lose somebody 8k, right? Swing with Whitebeard and pop that body, right? It's like the possibilities there, even though it's kinda uncommon, right? For example, if you go up against Ace, it's like very, very, very uncommon. But if you play out, if you got those two guys on the board, right, and you those those actually stay, you could use Divine Departure on one 10 cost beard, reduce it 8k. That 10 cost beard already lost 1k through Shanks, so that Whitebeard has only 3k left since it has 12k. You attach two Dons beforehand, before you use Divine Departure, not forget about that. Swing, and you can pop Blocker Beard, right? It's like I said, it's very uncommon, but the possibility is there. So this is the deck. My matchup were in the first round I played against Emo. I won the dice roll. I did go second. The second matchup played against Zoro. I lost the dice roll. I did go second, but won. The third matchup was BY Nami. I don't exactly remember if I lost or won the dice roll. I wrote it, by the way, but I forgot if I lost or won the dice roll. I don't remember that, but I did go second and won the game. The fourth match, I did win the dice roll, did go second against Bonnie. The fifth round was against Zabo. I won the dice roll, did go second. So yeah, overall, luckily I dodged Ace, because I personally struggle against Ace, even though I still met Zoro, which isn't easier, but even worse, but I managed to pull through. Yeah, against Emo, like I said in the beginning, as Roger, you have good chances because of your base power, right? Because you're a 7k leader, and because of the 10 cost Shanks, right? Because Shanks applies minus 1k power, which like lets Emo struggle a little bit, right? And as soon as you got two Shanks on the board, Emo basically lost the match, right? Because the Don attachment or the Don investment to actually hurt Roger is too much, right? You have to attach two Dons against on every Gorosei to swing and actually try to hurt Roger, right? On Roger himself is 7k, so yeah, it's like if you reach this case, it's like very much a win for Roger, right? But we don't let's not forget, Emo is Emo, right? Emo has like you can lose as Roger against Emo very easy, I would say, because the consistency of Emo is far better than your, right? And Emo can draw so much and search so much, so this is like always, there's always this possibility to lose with Roger against Emo, right? Even though you got a good matchup. Yeah, the second round was Zoro. Zoro was very, very hard, since Zoro slapped down two Tashigis round after round, which takes so much momentum from me. And the first time Tashigi got established, it rested my Douglas Bullet. Then my Douglas Bullet got run over, right? Zoro into Douglas Bullet, Zoro into leader, and yeah. Like I said, it took very much momentum. I was thinking about letting Zoro starve, but I had to play a little bit more as offensive, right? Since let's say I let him starve even more, like Zoro's deck, which can basically end the game with the leader itself, right? So I had to be a little bit more aggressive. Then I reached a game state where the Zoro had 3 life left, only 3 cards in the hand. I swing with the leader, that swing came through. I swing with Rayleigh, that swing came through. I swing with a Whitebeard, that swing came through. And I played out a 10 cost Shanks, swing with him, the swing came through, and I managed to win this game. It's like, yeah, Like, I think you want to go first against Zoro if you can. I lost the dice roll, that's why I did go second, but I'm not sure. It kinda helps you a little bit, but not that much. Zoro is like a very hard matchup for Zoro. Yeah, I guess I was lucky that I won that. Yeah, my third round, like I said, was against BY Nami. I had a very, very rough start because I was bricking. One round I didn't even ramp. I had to take very much damage. Then additionally to that, I got pudding, which reduced my hand size from 7 cards to 5 cards, which like kind of helped me, I guess, since I lost a few bricks, right? But at the end of the match, I managed to like get my 2k counters, establish a board, and finish with that board, right? Yeah, the fourth round against Bonnie. Yeah, I could very very early in the game establish a 2 cost Shanks and was very lucky since Bonnie didn't saw her 9 cost Shanks, and slowly but surely I chipped Bonnie away, and yeah, could won with my characters established, right? And the final round was against Zao, and yeah, this matchup is very Zabo favored, right? It's difficult for Roger, and I wasn't sure how to play against Zabo because while I was playtesting, I always tried to hit the Zabo to 4 life, right? Let them stay at 4 life so they don't unlock their true base power, right? But every time I tried to do this, they still got me, popped my character with Stussy, and because of the consistency of Zabo, they didn't start, right? Because if you think about it, Zabo basically got 4 search, right? The stage, Garb, Koala, Bello Betty, right? So this time I decided to play the aggressive road. I applied so much pressure, I swang. If like for example, I could run over one character, I did that, but only one time. Then I focus my additional strings on life, so Zabo threw out many cards, and in the last turn Zabo dropped his 9 cost 2C and popped my Rayleigh, but I still had the Gaban and my leader, and I was thinking, maybe it's kinda risky, but I still can try it. I attached 5 downs to Gaban, swang with him, 12k, right? I attached 5 downs to Roger, swang with him. Then the Zabo player started countering me out. And why was I so confident in that swing? Because the time where Zabo played the 9 cost Stussy, the Zabo player had to attach the final dawn on Zabo to get the lead ability, right? So I was sure no counter event could come. They got this 4k counter event, right? And while countering my leader swing, they only managed to 12k, right? So I was lucky at the end, but still I think this play was worth it since I was very healthy. I had free life, I had many cards to counter, so I think even if I didn't finish it in that turn, I would have finished it guaranteed in the next turn, right? So yeah, all in all, yeah, like I mentioned in the beginning, I managed to dodge ace, encountered still a few hard matchups for Roger, one more difficult than the other, for example Zoro, right? But I managed to get through this on one, and yeah, I know this is not like the biggest tournament, it's just a treasure cup, but I still feel proud to win this tournament, which is my first win overall. Seems kind of crazy, I know I'm washed up, like I don't know, I always had some difficulties to win at our local cards shop since they are a bunch of very competitive players, right? But yeah, I wanted to share this deck profile with you, show the Digimon community that you can even someone like me can manage in different card games. Yeah, One Piece is very fun for me, even though the meta consists only of the big three, Emo, Ace, and Zoro, right? But like I'm a big fan of One Piece, and in general I just like the game. I love to play it, and yeah, that's why I play it. And before I forget, I just wanted to put this in the video again. This was where the cards I won. It was the Secret Rezabo, right? In this artwork, the TCG for Zoro, and one Gold Dawn, which is very nice pricing, right? Those cards like go for a decent amount. I plan to keep those just as a trophy, right? And yeah, just wanted to show